A new beer and Isla Scotch whiskey collaboration, your opportunity to buy one of the most expensive bottles of whiskey available, and a few of my favorite reviews of the week on this episode of Whiskey Week in Review. I'm Tim. Welcome to the Whiskey Influencer.
Missing someone.
First, let's dive into a couple of new releases from the past couple of weeks. The first is a collaboration between Innis and Gunn. Innis and Gunn has collaborated with Laphroaig Distillery to create a special beer that was aged or finished in Laphroaig quarter casks for 3 months. This beer is bottled at 7.4% and offers a unique opportunity to drink the Scottish red ale with that influence of the wood character and the peated Isla Scotch. For beer fans out there who also like Isla whiskey, this would definitely be one to check out. Sold exclusively through their website, Innis and Gunn. Go check it out. This is very intriguing, and if you are a beer fan, this is definitely one that you don't want to miss. For those of you who missed out on your opportunity to buy the Gordon and MacPhail Glenlivet 80-year-old, your opportunity to try it is still here. In Vancouver, there's a liquor store that is allowing you to go in and join a raffle to have the opportunity to buy this 80-year-old Scotch whiskey for $140,000. So if you missed out on this and you are interested in trying it, definitely fly out to Vancouver, put your name in the ballot, and there are 2 bottles available for sale. And I'm guessing if you have the funds available, you also have the funds available to actually make the trip out there and just cross your fingers and hope you have the opportunity to try this whiskey out. From the people I've heard from who've actually tried it, they do say it is a remarkable and amazing experience, but obviously, this is not a realistic option for most of us, but still an interesting opportunity for those who can actually afford it. Now let's take a peek at the past week on the Whiskey Influencer Instagram account. I had a very unique interview this week with RJ Ochoa from SB Nation NFL and Blogging the Boys. We discussed the upcoming draft, the NFL, and a bunch of other cool, interesting topics, all while sipping on a few different whiskeys. This week we had the Clenleash 14, Glenlivet 12, Redbreast 12, and the Foursquare 2009 rum, all of which were fantastic, and we got to enjoy all those while talking about some pretty cool stuff. So for all of you NFL fans out there, or anybody who just likes a good conversation, go to the Instagram account, check out the conversation. A lot of fun with RJ. Now on to some of my favorite reviews of the past week. First, we'll go over to look at Ben from Whiskey Geek. He is reviewing the Aberlour 12-year-old. Now, this is a super accessible whiskey, low ABV, but is very approachable for people, especially starting off their whiskey journey. So if you're somebody new into whiskey or you're just interested in checking this out, go take a look at the link below at Ben's review of the Aberlour 12, and he'll let you know whether he thinks it is worth your time and energy to seek it out and buy it. Next on the list is the Grail, a newer whiskey review channel. Here we have Jane and Carrie talking about the relatively new release of the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old cask strength. This was one of the most anticipated whiskey releases from the last few months. The standard edition is a well-loved entry-level Scotch whiskey, and Bunnahabhain definitely takes it up to the next level with their 12-year-old cask strength expression. Definitely worth checking this out, seeing if it's worth it and what their opinions and thoughts are. You can take a look at the link below and check out this review. Next, I have Whiskey Jason's comparison between the Craigellachie 13-year-old and the new release 13-year-old, which I mentioned a few weeks ago, which is finished in Armagnac casks, which will impart a very intriguing finish to this whiskey. But go out and take a look at Whiskey Jason's review of this. It's very cool, very interesting to see how it compares with the standard 13-year-old and whether it actually adds or subtracts from the initial experience of the Craigellachie 13-year-old. Next, I have Top Shelf Whiskey, and they are reviewing one of my favorite annual releases, the Lagavulin 12-year-old. They'll discuss how they've been fairly disappointed over the last few releases, 2018, 19, 2020, and whether the 2021 steps it up and actually brings it back to its original greatness. Personally, I've enjoyed the last couple of years of Expressions, but I understand most people think it kind of went downhill after 2017. Take a look at this review here and to see if the 2021 edition has kind of brought that back to its former glory. And I can't imagine it hasn't. I've already heard a lot of good things about this one, but take a look at their reviews. Mike here has a very extensive collection of the Lagavulin 12-year-old from years past, so his perspective is very well informed. And finally, we have Mark from Whiskey Whistle, and this is a pretty cool comparison. He's comparing Ardbeg Young versus Ardbeg Old. So you have a 5-year-old Wee Beastie and the 19-year-old Trayvon, and which one he prefers, and obviously which one is the better value. Clearly the 19-year-old is significantly more expensive, but it's an intriguing comparison between new Ardbeg distillate and how the cask influences over the 19 years kind of changes the formula a little bit. It's very worthwhile checking out this comparison from Mark, and you can take a look at this along with everything else I talked about at the link below. So that'll wrap it up for this week's edition of the Whiskey Week in Review. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe below if you enjoyed it. Definitely give me your comments on each of these whiskeys and what your opinions are on them. I'm very interested to find out, and I look forward to speaking with you guys next week. Take care.